Hey guys, my name's Jim of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Warhammer video. Today we're going to put together the Sequitors that were in the first issue of Mortal Realms magazine. So what you're going to need to get yourself going. First off, you're going to need your models, of course. So I'll show you here, just on their golden sprue. Some clippers to cut the plastic as neatly as and precisely as possible. And if you're going to stick them down permanently, although these are push fit so you can just plonk them together and away you go. Some glue, which I use for Revel Contactor Professional Glue. It's pretty decent. This pot has actually lasted me absolutely goddamn ages. I'll probably glue together probably a good 150 models with that, and it's still over half full. Contactor Professional as well also helps you get a little bit more precise. So let's get going. So as you'll notice on the sprue, all the different parts are all numbered. So you've got part 1, part 2, part 3, which as you notice part 2 and part 3 look very, very similar. One's without a helm, one's with the helm. Then you've got part 4 and part 5, and then part 6 is the base. So that's just the Sequitor Prime. So let's first start off by cutting her out. I think I'm going to go for part number 2. I think we're going to go for that one. We're going to go for without the helmet on. So let's start off. Let's make an easy start and cut out the base. So as you want to do, get it as flush up to where the model's going to be as possible. And just snip. And off it comes. Fairly easy. Takes a little bit of strength, not too much though, but it's fairly quick and easy to do. Let's cut out part 2 without trying to damage any parts of the detail. So you can have little bits where it's going to be on there. You will get some mould lines on here as well, which can be removed using the mould line tool, or you can use a file, or you can just use, if you're very, very, very careful, you can use a sharp knife, which is my bad habit trick of doing things. Let's cut this out. Let's try and make sure that we don't cut anything wrong, because there are some little tiny details on her, just like that little belt just there, as you can see, where my little finger's pointing. As you can see, there's some mould lines as well there when it decides it's going to focus. So those will need to be removed, and those little blemishes from wherever it's fitted to the sprue. So we need part number 4 now, which make sure you cut it off in the right place. You don't want to cut it off too high up, because there is part of the pauldron details there, and oh, that's a tough bit underneath that robe. It's going to leave a little bit of a crap bit, and a little bit there. And then we need part number 5, which is of course the shield, because she stands behind us holding a shield just out in front of her with a great mace slung over her shoulder, because that's how much of a badass she is. And lastly, that one there. Now, that's number 1 cut out and sorted out. So let's have a look through all the different parts. So you got the back and the back of the robes and the great mace there, which some parts of it need to be neatened up a little bit. So I'll grab the file in a moment, and I'll show you how to kind of roughly get it back into place, get it smoothed over, everything like that. So it'll all just push together and away you go. Got a shield, a Sigmar shield. Front bit, which doesn't need too much, needs a little bit there, and the bottom of the robes there, and then as well there. So she needs a bit of detailing up across her head, which is a bit of a pain, and across there as well. And sorry if I'm pulling that off camera. So apologies, some of that wasn't getting clipped off quite on camera as I had hoped. But now all the parts are removed from the sprue. Let's take a look at what parts you've got. So you've got the back for robes just here. These are going to have to be neatened up a little tiny bit in places just to get them looking quite right, so we don't have any horrible lines when we paint up the model. Same with her head and the tops of her legs just there. The front of robes aren't too bad. They need a couple of little bits, mainly just at the bottom of the robes to be neatened up. And same with a shield, side of a shield, both sides of a shield should I say, and then the bottom bit it's going to slot in to just there on the base. And I'm going to smooth over them sides on the base as well. So as you can see, the base is quite detailed as well, so you've got plenty of little textures you can put in there, so a bit of mud, some dead leaves, dry leaves and all that type of stuff, and a pattern, a floor pattern on there, which is the twin-tailed comet, the herald of Sigmar himself. So yeah, let me grab a file and we'll have a bit more of a sort out and get these done as well. Right, so when gluing your models together, you need to make sure there's a couple of things that you follow. One, any tools that you don't need, you can just move out of the way. So these clippers I don't need anymore, hobby file don't need anymore at the moment. The other things to remember is glues are normally a bit toxic. Do not lick your fingers after if you've touched glue. Do not ingest any of it, and they stink normally to high heaven. So I'm going to be very, very precise with using the Contactor Professional just here. So let's start putting this one together. So you need to look for bits where they're going to be attached. So she's going to be attached just there and there. So as it is a push fit model, this is a step you can actually skip if you wanted, but I prefer to glue mine down so I don't risk somehow managing to pull it apart for no reason at all. And every now and again you get one that's a bit tough to fit together, like this one is, where it just seems to be ever so slightly off center, and there we go. So that took a bit more effort than it probably should have, which normally means the little pin where it goes into the hole is actually slightly too big. Anyway, so there's 2 contact points for this one, so they seem to be decent. So we'll put a bit of glue in there, bit of glue in there, and some wants to come out of the nozzle. So the problem with this glue is that nozzle gets very, very clogged at times, and it's a nightmare to unstick. There are ways of doing it which are probably not very good for your health or for the glue. So as you'll see, all these little mould lines have now appeared just where the model joins together, which you can fill them with liquid green stuff if you wanted to. I'm personally not, because when I'm painting it up it will cover it and it will get rid of it. So there are other ways of painting your models as well, so don't worry too much about how it's going to look when it's all assembled. And then all we do is the last little bit, which is attaching her shield, and away we go. When that gets in there, it can be quite tough sometimes as well, so don't be too alarmed if you need to put on a bit of pressure. So I'm not gluing it to the base because I like to paint base completely separate, so it gets a bit of a different look and I can get a bit more detail work into it. But that is how she's going to look. So if I can get her onto the base, then pins are very, very tight in them holes, so sometimes you have to give it a good amount of force, and there you pretty much have it. She is pretty much done. So I want to be able to pull her back off though, so I can paint the base and her slightly separate from each other. So that's number 1 done. I'm going to assemble the others and we'll take a look at them all at the end. Right then guys, there you have it. 3 Stormcast Sequitors. Built, ready to paint, trimmed down where they need to be. They are push fit, so they are quite easy to get done. I hope you enjoy the video as well. If you have, please hit that like button, hit subscribe to the channel, share the video, all that good stuff to anybody who might also be joining in with some new Warhammer goodies. And soon there'll be more from the channel. Thank you for watching. Bye bye now.